Good morning, YouTube family. It's Brother Tony Smith. I like to talk about a man's pain of not having his father in his life, that wanted his father in his life. My father's name was Ted Henry Smith. Now, for one, I'm talking about my pain and how I've learned through the years that not having that father in my life influenced me in bad decisions, influenced how my mother raised me, influenced how I looked at my stepfather, influenced on how my mother tried to compensate of not having that father in my life. My father was 6'5" and a half, 225 pounds. I'm nowhere near that tall. Always, a lot of times he would say he gonna show up someplace and he didn't. A lot of times he would come for a little while to watch me do martial arts, play little league football, and I look up, he was gone. I remember one game that played for Hawthorne. I scored 2 touchdowns, played against the best team they had out there. And the main thing I remember running on the sideline, there was my father. When he left, I scored 1 more touchdown. I never played football like that again. I never saw him at a game again. But the thing too, I didn't know his pain. He grew up in a big family. He had brothers and sisters, mother and father in the same house. So I just don't know. But I love my dad. Loved him dearly. But it just, I never treated women right. Never did. Used women, manipulated women. So I don't know if it was because of some of that or being spoiled. Grew up in the cleaners, having it my way. I remember one year, Karen, my first cousin, she went to Henry Clay. I went to Bret Hart. And I remember that year we went to Washington High together. And she really embraced me and showed me love. But it's like I left because I used to go over to my grandfather's house. I think he stayed off of Gramercy, right down the street from Washington High. And I used to go over there every day. And a good relationship with Pat, and Jimmy, and Sam, and all of them, and my step grandmother, whatever you want to call it. And anyway, the bottom line is, I just, as a man searches his life, he comes to the point of why this, why that, why did I do this like this, why did I do like things like that? Because I have a daughter named is Jamie Angela Smith, black Filipino. I haven't seen since she was 5, and I was let me see, not this past summer, but the summer before. She just came on my mind, so I started looking for her on Facebook, and we kind of made contact on Skype, but we didn't see each other, but we would send each other messages. And she was asking me, why now? Why now? Well, I was trying to let her know through circumstances and situations, I didn't do what I was supposed to do. So I could tell it's a lot of pain involved. She's moved on, and right now she doesn't want to have contact. I have to accept that because I was wild, out of control. I don't think very few men in Los Angeles manipulated women and have so many abortions as me. I'm ashamed of that because when you don't have the knowledge of self, you a beast. I grew up in the church, but something happened and I walked away. A pastor tried to do something to my cousin Sylvia, and I walked away and never went back till basically here and there. But the bottom line is a lot of things is deep. I found out, going to Texas for 6 months, that my father was very nice. My mother told me my father was nice. She told me he was the best thing that ever happened to her, but she didn't appreciate him. Was living the life that she lived. She liked to do things, do this and do that. Ted wasn't into that, and then she didn't want to be with him no more. Then 10 years later, she went to him to say, man, I realized he was already married. He moved on. But the bottom line is, seeing psychiatrists and doing different things, you try to find out what's the source of things that you have done. And it's just, I don't know how many other men blocked it out or they moved on with their lives, not really worried about their father, but I always did. Then I found out that he lived on the street, I think the last 5 or 6 years of his life. And one thing too, YouTube, Facebook, whatever you want to call it, if I make some mistakes about what I say, don't come at me crazy, because this is just about what I was told. This is my story. So, like I said, I love him. I spent one weekend at his house in my life, one weekend, and that was it. So for me, I'm trying to be I have a baby by a Mexican and a black. Back then I didn't want to have another child again, and she wasn't gonna have no abortion. She said, "You gotta marry me," and I said, "Please, not marrying you." And she went back to Mexico. So that's a child I haven't seen, and just so many bridges that I have burned. But I made mistakes. So for me, just to acknowledge my mistakes, things that I've did. And so for me, anybody want to talk about their pain, or other men, one thing men don't like to talk about is pain. So I have 3 boys, 7 years old, 5, and 2.5 years old. So for me, I'm taking it a day at a time, putting God first and moving forward. But I just try to be the best father that I can for these boys. I put my wife through hell and back, and she's still hanging in there. So I thank God for her. But I know my father is with the ancestors, and I appreciate it. I have loving family and everything, but a lot of things I'm still searching for the answers to be a better man. And I like to apologize to ladies in my life that I've hurt. Number 1, my mother. Number 2, I could say Princess Flanagan. I don't know her name now, last name. I've hurt Nelia really bad. Kim Lin Wynn, Vietnamese. There's just so many women that I've hurt. Even hurt my wife I'm with now. But I just thank God for another day. And the only way for me that you're going to understand yourself, if you're really seeking the knowledge of yourself. See, a lot of things is we wasn't given correct information. There's a lot of things we wasn't given correct information about a lot. About history, about the truth of the knowledge of ourselves. So if something don't fit you, it's not going to work. So anyway, but other than that, peace and love to you. Any man that has pain and want to share, we can start talking about pain and how to fix the situation. I pray all the time. I meditate. I feel better about myself than I have probably when I was out there unconscious. Now I still make mistakes, but I ask for forgiveness each day to try not to make that mistake. Some mistakes I'm still working on. But any man out there that wants to share his pain and situations, we judge each other too much without information. And some family members accept you, some don't. But for me, either they're a Christian, they're a Buddhist, they're a Muslim, but whatever they are, atheist. But how can you deny someone that has your blood? You just cross that out. They don't exist. Well, it should be a God in you, or whatever it is, to make peace. 'Cause I want to know everybody in my family, bloodline. I like to know all that. Where you live, Seattle, Alaska, Africa, France. It doesn't matter. I just like to get in touch with people of like minds. So I'm reaching out to the Smith side again. Peanut and them. That side. Billy, Karen, her family, friends, whoever it is. Smith side, just to share information. I don't want nothing. I never asked that side for anything, ever. And I never will. So the bottom line is, just sharing, seeking knowledge. But, what's wrong with a friendly conversation every now and then? I've asked a couple of them. They never answered. So I don't understand what's up with that. Are they so ashamed of me and my father's life they don't want to have contact? I don't know. But, for me, I love them anyway, because we from the same blood. But other than that, peace and love. See, one thing about it, if you don't forgive or let go or allow, how can you move forward? Most of them, a lot of people have degrees and teachers, principals, and engineers. I seen one Smith youngster over there that seemed like he's deep on the history. I can't think his name. But anyway, peace and love. Peace and love. Because for me, my forever is as long as God let me live. That's how long my forever is. But other than that, peace and love, and joy and happiness. One mind, one love, one source. We all come from God. Peace and love. Ma'at Hotep.